that the history of Chinese hate crime started back in the 1800s on the West Coast, when Chinese were beaten, they were murdered, they were lynched. The largest lynching in history happened to the Chinese in LA in 1871. Chinese as a whole group were driven out from many cities. The recent increase of hate crimes, it's not new. This is nothing new. It just takes different forms, and now it resurfaces again. In 1982, a Chinese American, Vincent Chin, was murdered in Detroit. He was mistaken to be a Japanese American, and at that time, people were blaming the Japanese cars, were putting the American workers, auto workers, out of business. And so they thought he was Japanese and blamed him for their unemployment and loss of jobs. So his father and son beat him up, and I think, or killed him, or murdered him. And so when it first happened, there wasn't too much national news about that. But when a year later, the sentence came down, and the father and son were given light sentences of fine, probation, and no prison terms at all. What is a Asian life worth? It's so disheartening to see on TV of the anti-Chinese the hate crimes, especially against our seniors, the grandfathers, grandmothers who are being pushed to the ground from behind, and some die as a result, and then some of the beatings, and it's just horrible, horrifying. We are all at the same boat, in the same boat. It could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody. There are some groups in some of the Chinatowns, including Chicago, New York, and San Francisco, and LA. The private citizens are taking it upon themselves to form groups to patrol the Chinatowns, trying to spot problems and report them.
Why is it private citizens doing it?
Because the government's not doing it. So if you don't protect yourselves, who's gonna do it? God, it's over. Sorry.